Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am the two-time Naboxed award-winning Naboxed. I am here at Canada Place, the Port of Vancouver, and we're continuing on with the tourism challenge. Now, there are helpful signs located around here, and there's a QR code that you can scan. It'll give you the questions, which I have here on my phone. So I just answer the questions, and I'll take it over to the help center, and then I'll get my stamps. So one thing I'm noticing, that if you look at the ground here, you will actually see city names, and they go by province. So back at the beginning there, it starts at British Columbia, because we're in British Columbia, and then we work our way eastward to Alberta, to Saskatchewan, Manitoba, etc., etc. We go, like, obviously in geographical order. So you also see the cruise ship that's here. And that's because since we're this is like literally right at the ocean, we get a lot of boats coming in. So why not cash in on some tourism dollars? So the first question has to do with a certain man. So the first question has to do with a certain man. As you saw his picture, you can come and find out about him. We have like these things where you can find out about these people. So, and I'm working around it where I can show you that particular part, and you don't get the answer. And that gentleman right there is the second person at the center of the questions. So, again, no answers being given here, so I guess I just have one more to deal with, and then I'll be able to get my stamp. One question here does require us to come inside here, so a little bit out of order, so it took me longer than I'd like, but nevertheless, let's get this done. So, one of the questions, like, there's no signage for it, but I knew it because of one of the cities out here, which I actually did a video on a while ago, maybe a few years ago. So she did affirm that that the answer I would have given was right, because I recognized it because of the city. So yeah, so there is a trolley bus that I'm going to be taking maybe about 20-something minutes. But I have some time to kill, so I'm going to go and maybe have something to eat.
We're just leaving the Port of Vancouver, and next door is the Convention Center. It was built for the 2010 Winter Olympic Games that Vancouver hosted in February. And when we hosted it, the opening ceremonies, to the right, the Olympic cauldron was lit by none other than ice hockey great Wayne Gretzky. And I always say, if you want that flame lit for yourself, you can. If you have $6,400 to burn, you can make that special proposal to that someone. But if he or she says no, your money always goes up in flames. And if you look to the right, to the left of me as we go through this intersection, you'll see a gold statue in the middle of the intersection. That is Nike, the goddess of victory. She was gifted to the city of Vancouver by Athens, Greece, on occasion of those Winter Olympic Games. Nike, I always think of that company, Nike, that's made a lot of money around the world. Well, we hope the goddess of victory will bring prosperity to Vancouver. So we're already coming up to stop number 2, the Harbourfront Hotel, Pinnacle Marriott. Does anybody want to get off at stop number 2? All right, Purdue, nobody's getting off at stop number 2. We'll see if anybody's going to hop on. We are in the downtown area. The downtown area is made up of 5 neighborhoods. This neighborhood is known as Cole Harbour. Cole Harbour gets its name because in the Burrard Inlet, which is the inland waterway where the port is located, back in the late 1800s, early 1900s, a vein of coal was discovered in the Burrard Inlet But fortunately, it wasn't economically feasible to mine that dirty old coal. Instead, they named this the neighborhood Coal Harbor, and it's become a great area where people live, work, and play. There's tons and tons of condominiums. Yes, folks, if you look straight ahead, those glass buildings, they are not office towers. 95% of downtown Vancouver are condominiums. Downtown Vancouver, 5 neighborhoods, all located within a 1.5 square mile area. For your information, the average cost of a condominium in the Coal Harbor area, you're looking at $1,300 per square foot. So if you're buying a 1,000 square foot condo, you're looking at a minimum $1.3 to $1.5 million. So as we go towards stop number 4, the Southern Place Hotel, if you look to your left, this church, Christ Church Anglican Cathedral. It's the oldest church in Vancouver. It opened for services in 1889. And if you look at the coloring of the stonework, the lower part of the church is a lighter gray, and the upper part of the church is darker, somewhat yellowy brown in color. Why? Well, they first started building, of course, the lower part of the church, and the church ran out of money. So for several years, they actually held the services in the lower part, and that which they called the root cellar. But ultimately, the church was completed, and now it's the oldest church in Vancouver. Recently undergone extensive renovations to its roof. It added a bell tower, and there's great stained glass windows in the church. Feel free to go through the church and enjoy the serenity of an afternoon in this holy place.
So there's a sample of the trolley bus. So because of the difficulty I had with finding that there was no signage for the third question at Canada Place, but so anyway, that took me, I had just missed the bus, so I had to wait almost 30 minutes for the next one. That's why I stopped for lunch. But I think now I'm in the position where I can move on to the next place. So I'll see you there. Okay, folks, I am here at CPR 374 for another stamp on the tourism challenge. So it's actually a very smaller one, so you can just come in and you see the train right here. You can climb in and just take a look around up there. I did get a little bit of footage over there, so I'll splice it in right here. And just taking some local history, folks. And just like a Canada Place, you got names on the ground, but these are people who contributed money to this. So there you go. So there are a couple questions you can get here. Or there are a couple stamps. The first stamp is for the first 2 questions, and then there's a bonus question where you can get a community stamp. Gotta get some stamps, man. Okay, folks, that's about wraps it up for me. We did Canada Place. We went on hopped on the trolley bus, went there for took a few stops on there, and then we made our way to the 374's CPR train, and we found out a little bit more about Vancouver. So thank you for joining me. Stay tuned. I still got a couple weeks left, so we'll see what else I can find out about our little world here. So till next time, folks. Bye, everyone.